Hello and welcome back to the Voices of the Vic, the Watford FC podcast, bringing you all of the latest from Vicarage Road. I'm Ben, and on today's episode, we'll be breaking down Watford's 2-2 draw at home to Southampton, a game that had a bit of everything. We'll be chatting about Irakunda's unbelievable free kick, the impact of Baah Vata after the double substitution, and taking a look at how the first part of the season has gone as we head into the first international break of the season. I'm joined as always by Joe. Joe, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good, thank you. Coming towards the end of summer holidays now, so got the kids just a little bit longer, and then they're starting school on Thursday, which is I'm sure as many parents are literally looking at the finish line and celebrating, reaching for beer, wine, having daytime parties, and celebrating, rejoicing.
No, I would say I know the feeling, but I don't just yet. This time next year, I'll know. But my daughter's starting school for the first time this Thursday. So she's been doing nursery. Her last day at nursery was on Friday. So she's got a couple of days at home. So we're not at that point just yet where we're like cracking open the champagne, hoping that she'll go off back to school. But yeah, I imagine for like yourself and other parents up and down the country, it's been a difficult 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's been long because our girls obviously they've just come out of private school, so they're starting new schools on Thursday, but they've had 8 weeks, so it's been torturous. But yeah.
Oh well, I hope the girls have a good first day and settle in well at their new school.
Thank you, and Isla too, mate, and Isla.
Thank you, mate. I've done it a couple of times where I've started new schools, and it's always difficult, and you go in very nervous, but I'm sure we'll smash it. But good to hear that you're all good, Joe. Unfortunately, you couldn't pop down to Vicarage Road this weekend because obviously you had the girls, but you watched from home.
Yeah, it was an entertaining game. I think as with most games that we're seeing, and I think it's just a Watford thing, regardless of who the manager is. Games are always starting slow. It's never a fast start from Watford usually, is it? But I was relatively impressed in the end with what I saw, and I think there's as we said in our chat, and I think a couple of other chats I'm in as well, that there's a lot to build on. I think with what we've seen in the opening part of the season going into the first break. But obviously, I know you were there yesterday. Did you enjoy it? Was it a good atmosphere, good game to watch live?
Yeah, no, definitely was. It had a bit of everything. It was my first time sitting in my new season ticket seats as well, because I've moved from the Rookery to the Elton John stand now, just off the halfway line to the right of the away dugout. So yeah, Will Steele was not best pleased yesterday. There was a little bit of afters afterwards as well. I don't know if you saw some bits and pieces floating around social media, Joe, but one of Watford's assistant managers and the Southampton assistant managers clashed. So there was a bit of pushing and shoving after the game, and Pezzolano and Steele were trying to break things up. But yeah, I'm liking being that close to the tunnel now where I can actually see what's going on. But yeah, entertaining game yesterday. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Like seeing a fantastic free kick like that from Irankunda was just magical. I kind of wish I was back in the Rookery for that. I would have had a fantastic view from my seats. But yeah, let's just get back into it. Let's talk about yesterday's game. Watford 2, Southampton 2. Irakunda's stunner that saved the day for the Hornets in the end. How do you think? Do you think it was a fair result overall, Joe? A 2-2?
Yeah, do you know what? I think the way the game panned out in the end, a 2-2 draw was a fair result. I don't think either side really did enough to win the game to warrant saying, yeah, you know what, you deserve 3 points. I think just for me, out of everything is, as I've kind of said to a few people, is what impressed me most is, when Watford go behind against teams like Southampton or teams, especially, relegated Premier League sides in previous seasons, you'd kind of see Watford fold, and you'd see a kind of, it may either become 2-1, 3-1 late on, or we just go. You know what Watford are like? They tend to like to just switch off, don't they, completely, and it just all goes south. However, yesterday, the fact that we went behind once, got back in it, we went behind again, got back in it again, just showed that there's just something a little bit different about this Watford side, and they just seem to want to fight. They seem to want to do it for the fans. You saw the celebration for the second goal. They were completely and utterly wanting to celebrate with the fans and the joy on all their faces. So, yeah, for me, I just think it's impressive to show that we're actually digging deep to want to grind out these sort of results rather than going behind and then just not doing anything.
No, definitely, I agree. Going into the game, I would have taken a point all day long. I think when the team news came out, there was a couple of negative comments in our WhatsApp group. I know Katie wasn't really feeling hopeful. She thought that we was going to probably be on the end of a defeat to Southampton. But I put a message in saying, "Have faith. I think we'll be all right." Because I feel like we can compete against anyone with the set of players that we've got in our team now, and I wanted to bring it up a bit later on in the show, but I'll mention it now. I really like this bunch of players that we've got playing for Watford at the moment. I think they're very likeable. I think you fall in love with them very easily because of how they're playing and playing for the shirt. And we've not had that for a while. I feel like there's a connection between the players and the fans at the moment, Joe.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of likeable characters in the team. Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Zola squad. I think there's a lot of players, that came in then were loved quite quickly by the supporters. I think it's the same with this group of players. I'm really liking Kurangard, really liking Irankunda, really loving Kiprianu. Really like Mark Bowler. I think Wiley's going to have a real job on his hands getting in that, getting in the team. I'm really liking the defence. I think, he started off really shaky, but I think as he's going on, I think there's a lot of quality, and you can see why Pep loves Aline. Or have I said that right? Aline?
Max Alain?
Alain?
Max Alain?
Yeah, terrible at
Max.
pronunciation.
We'll call him Max.
Yeah, Max. But yeah, he's really impressing as games are going on. I think the more game time he's getting, so yeah, like you said, they're a real likable bunch of players, and obviously, when losers in the side, it just makes the side even more lovable, doesn't it? But we'll love it just as much while he's out the side as well.
No, definitely. And to think we've still got two players to come back into this team as well. We've still got Imran Loser, still got Georgie Chapadassi. Add those two players into what we saw yesterday. I think we're onto something here. Just want to say thank you to everyone who's watching at the moment. Lots of comments as well. Breaking news as well. It's just came up on my phone. Ryan Andrews has just completed his move to Swiss boys. To the Swiss Super League for young boys. So he has just left Watford FC. He actually made his final appearance yesterday, coming off the bench for the last 5 minutes. So we'll react to that now, Joe. We don't tend to normally have breaking news on the voice of Vic. So a bit harsh from Mike there. I'm not going to read that comment out. But Ryan Andrews, one of our own. What's your thoughts on that, Joe? It's probably the right move at the right time for him.
Yeah, I think with everything that's gone on over the last few weeks at the club, with he's obviously deleted social media. He got a lot of backlash from performances at the start of the season. I said on the podcast that we did after the, I think it would have been after when we did the Norwich and QPR roundup, maybe. I'd said that I thought the stick that he was getting was very, very harsh. It's fine to have an opinion and stuff, but to get personal and some of the things people were saying was completely uncalled for. I think just on the back of how he's been, I think towards the end of last season, beginning of this season, I think it's probably the right move for him. He's going to obviously go somewhere fresh and hopefully he reignites his career somewhere else. It's just a shame, obviously, as a young talent, we obviously had high hopes for him at one point, But yeah, I wish him well and hope he does well at the, as Jess has said, the Wankthorpe Stadium.
Yeah, no, it's a great name for a stadium. So Watford haven't put an article up, but on their tweet where they've just announced the move, they've gone, Ryan Andrews has completed a move to Swiss Super side BSC Young Boys. The academy graduate leaves with the best wishes of everyone at the club, and our thanks for his efforts in yellow, both as a man, as a boy. Good luck for the future, Ryan. So lovely message there from Watford Football Club, and it's a shame he couldn't really kick on from that first season where he came on, really, Joe, when he hit the scenes towards the end of the season, got his debut away at Coventry City under Chris Wilder. I think he played about 6-7 games after that for the rest of the season, then started the following season. That was the season for me where I think we saw the best out of Ryan Andrews. Maybe a bit of like a falling out with Val, which maybe didn't help his Watford career. It kind of stalled a little bit afterwards, and been in and out and battling with Ngakia afterwards. But I think overall, Ngakia's probably deserved that right back spot.
Yeah, I think as you said about when he first came in, there's a few games for me where at the start he got a lot of stick. I think he was brought in the wrong games. I think there was games, he was young. I remember one of them, Leeds United, we got smashed 3-0 and he played, and it was completely the wrong game for him to be playing. But they felt they felt the need to chuck a youngster in there and kind of make him a scapegoat for what was an utterly dross performance from everybody. There was a few games like that. The club have actually just posted something on the website. I'm just going to just read something because he's actually kind of said thank you. He's Ryan Andrews has spoke of his dreams coming true at Watford after departing the club to join Swiss Super League side Young Boys. He said, I just want to say thank you to all the fans for my time at Watford FC. The last few seasons when I came into the first team, it's been a bit of a dream to me. Coming through the academy, all I wanted to do was play for the first team. I didn't want to move on and try and kickstart my career anywhere else. I hope Watford go on to bigger and better things in the years ahead. There's quite a lot here. He kind of just talks about he's had his highs and I've just gone quite near the bottom. He says I've had my highs and lows at the club in terms of performances and playing with not playing, but overall I've enjoyed it. And if anything it's turned me into an adult, I'll definitely be watching the results from afar. And if I ever come back to where there is a game, of course I'll come down to Vicarage Road because this is home to me and all I have known.
No, and just to go back on some comments that Pezzolano said at the weekend, this is from Adam Jury from Watford Observer. Pezzolano said he feels the move is what he needs to improve and to grow. We're going to lose a wonderful person and we are hoping for some time to work with him, but he believes it's what's best for his career. It's all about growth and he's been here for many years. And this is it, Joe, like, yes, fantastic to come through the academy. He's lived his dream. He's wore that yellow shirt. He's always given it 100%, no matter what people say in the stands who've ended up slated him. He's lived our dream, hasn't he? He's played for our football club and he's always given 100%. But it's time for him to further his footballing career, and I think it's the right decision for Ryan Andrews and Watford Football Club. So just would like to wish him the very best for his future. And yeah, we've not really had breaking news on here before, Joe. So I think we didn't do too bad. Watford are going to be receiving €3 million for Ryan Andrews as well, which is quite a decent bit of money. Watford have done pretty well with the money they've recruited this window.
Well, yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because that seems to be the figure for everyone. Rajovic was €3 million. I think João Ferreira was €3 million. I mean, I'm not going to knock it because, I think if we total everything, we probably got between like 10 and 15 million euros for all these players. And you think, really, would you pay 15 quid for them? But it's mad, isn't it?
So he's still going to be playing in the yellow and black as Young Boys play in yellow. young boys have just released their Twitter announcement of him. He looks pretty happy, and he's going to be playing Europa League football as well, Joe, isn't he? Because Swiss boys play over there, and there's a I want to try and get this photo up, so bear with me, everyone. There's actually a really lovely photo that Ryan Andrews has had with Watford team yesterday after the game, where they're all surrounding him and holding up his Watford shirt. So bear with me. I'm just going to try and get it up now. I'll try and do a sharing the screen. Where are we? Here we go. Look at that, everyone. I'll try and make it a bit bigger.
Yeah, that is a nice photo, actually. That's on the website. Yeah, I've just seen that.
Yeah, so it just shows how tight-knit this Watford squad is, and I really like that. That's a special touch from everyone at the football club. So I'm glad that Ryan came on yesterday. He clearly waved to the fans after the game, and he got a lot of love back. And I think that was probably the best thing for him after the stick he's received from some minority in the fan base, where he's had to end up deleting his social media. But for him to get respected by all four stands yesterday is exactly what he needed, and you can tell he was a fully respected teammate for everyone there. So yeah, that's Ryan Andrews leaving the club. We'll head back into yesterday's game, the 2-2 against Southampton, being completely thrown off there. But no, we like it. Joe, who do you think was the standout performer yesterday?
I'm actually going to say I actually really liked. Kipriano played well yesterday. I mean, I think he always does. He's like Mr. Reliable. Irankunda second half, I thought he started slow. Obviously, had that chance, didn't he? That he kind of snatched at in the first half. He didn't really do too much, but him in the second half. Bolo actually really impressed me yesterday. Yeah, I mean, those are my three kind of standouts. Who for you? Who impressed you the most yesterday?
I'm in love with Kevin Kebben. I think he's mustard. He's unreal at the back.
Yeah.
I like the energy that Kipriano brings to the team. I love the work rate and the hold up play from Luca Kirangard. Yeah, I think he's got something. He brings so much more to the team than what we saw with Rajovic or Vacuum Bio. He actually works for the team and puts the shift in and uses his body really well. Irakunda's a special talent. We're going to get onto him in a bit. Loved the introduction from Baah, but I think a lot of people have overlooked Baah Vata from yesterday, and he was incredible when he came on as well. So we'll talk about him a little bit more. But there's so many individuals that I really wanted to point out from yesterday. There's two people I was a bit disappointed in. Was Edo Kiembe, who stunk out Vicarage Road once again. And I don't know how he keeps getting his name on this team sheet. And I don't know whether it's because of a lack of numbers in midfield. But I think Vata showed yesterday that he's well ahead of Kiembe. And Kiembe should be just keeping the bench warm now, because he shouldn't be anywhere near this starting lineup. I don't know what he brings. Lou Warren's put out a tweet, I think this morning. Kiembe hasn't made the tackle in 3 championship games. He rarely passes the ball forward. He doesn't really do much apart from run around. Doesn't press, doesn't make a challenge, doesn't get the ball forward. It's I'm taking over from Cam. I do apologise. And then Sissoko, I didn't think Sissoko had the best games yesterday. He tries, he does more than Kiembe, but kind of want more, and I wanted changes a bit earlier. And I feel like we've got better players, but now we've got the signing of Mendy to come into the team. I think I'm excited to see what he brings. Yes, he's what is he, 33? He's obviously on the wrong side of 30, but I feel like he can bring something much more than what we saw with Kiembe and Sissoko. Get Vata into that team. We've obviously got Loser and Chak to come back. So we've got better players. So maybe it's just Kiembe's taking this spot for the time being, but he honked the place out yesterday. But yeah, let's talk about that. the first goal, really, Joe. Well, actually, no. Melanie put up a comment earlier, and I've seen quite a lot of your comments, Melanie. Sorry, I haven't read any out yet. She wanted us to discuss the disallowed goal yesterday for Watford. It was a header from Kipiano at the far post. Would have put Watford 1-0 up, but the referee disallowed it for a foul from a Banqua. What did you make of the disallowed goal?
I thought it was one of those for me that could have gone either way. Referees' perception, interpretation, and it went the wrong way for us, didn't it? Just unfortunate, I think. It was great when we all obviously when it hit the back of the net. Obviously delighted, but yeah, shame. I don't know. What did you think? What do you think from your view? Did you think it was harsh?
I couldn't really see where it was because I think Bankwell was more at the start of the goal mouth. I think it was at the near post, and obviously I was on the other end, so I couldn't really see it from where I was. You see them given all the time. I feel like you always see fouls given against the attackers than the other way, really. Unless it's blatantly obvious, and then the ref would point to the spot. But I did think the referee had a good performance yesterday, and I feel like he's probably the best ref we've had so far this season. I know we had the referee that did Swansea and Charlton. I don't know why he refed us twice in 3 games, but I thought he was pretty decent and let the play on when he needed to, especially for like Baah's goal. You would have seen that in the past that someone would have blown up saying that was a foul on Manning, didn't allow play to go on, and we scored from it. I thought he was good. He needed to blow up when he needed to. I thought he was good with his yellow cards. He didn't just throw him out willy-nilly. I think he gave yellow cards for true yellow card fouls. But yeah, I thought first half, Joe, obviously Watford 1-0 down. Cameron Archer scored from a it was sloppy, wasn't it, really,
Terrible.
Joe? Watford should have done much better from a set piece. I think we've seen a lot of vulnerability from Watford at set pieces so far.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. I'm not going to lie. When the ball come across, obviously it was one thing that he got to. I can't remember. Was it Fraser? I can't remember. It was that got to the initial header, but then to watch and Gaki was just stood behind the ball, just like watching it, and I was like, when is someone going to move out for this ball, because it's just dropped into the middle of the 6-yard box, and then Cameron Archer you just see coming in. And it's like, I mean, he's probably not going to score an easier goal all season, I don't think. I know there was people kind of around him, but the fact that he just had the freedom to just run in and just do what he wanted, I was raging. It was such a poor goal to concede. And I mean, as one of my friends said in our WhatsApp group, that's the us falling foul again to this zonal marking. Like, it's just terrible, isn't it? Like, such a bad goal to give away.
No, it is. I'm hoping that we iron out these errors from set pieces at the moment. I thought we was caught ball watching, really flat-footed. Didn't react to the second ball. I thought Selvik should have reacted a little bit quicker as well. But sloppy goal. And I was saying to my mate Anthony, I thought we started the game quite well. I thought we played okay, and then we fell asleep at a set piece, which cost us. But yeah, we didn't do too much that first half. Went in half time 1-0 down. Second half came out. Again, Pesolano gave it 10 minutes, and then he wanted to make the changes. I like that he wanted to change it early. Double substitution, Joe. Changed the game. Vata and Baah were introduced. And the two men combined for Watford's equaliser. Fantastic play from Rocco Vata, playing the ball that you wouldn't see KMB play. Diagonal ball, splitting the defenders. There was Baah using his strength to get past Manning. And I know you guys were saying it in the WhatsApp group earlier, you and Mike, 9 out of 10 times, Baah hits that, it would go out for a corner flag or go sky over the flag, the bar into a rookery end. He hit that so sweetly, didn't he? Into that far corner with so much power. Keeper had no chance, but fantastic goal, Joe. Just what we needed.
It was superb. Yeah, it was superb. And I actually think the pass from Vata, makes it even better. I thought it was superb. Great ball over the top. He could see Baah was making the run because you could see him just have a quick look up to see where Baah was going. Played the pass. Obviously, Baah then picked it up, and like you say, such a sweet. A sweet strike into the far corner, and as I said in the chat, I was like, it made it even better the way it just nestled around the net because it just hit with such venom, like it was just brilliant. And that's the second time he's done that this season, where he's kind of picked up the ball a little bit it was a bit further out on the other side for Norwich, but he's driven into the box and drilled one into the back of the net. He can do it with his left and right foot. I mean, he did it with his left foot against Norwich, right foot yesterday, and just superb. I mean, he's got to be a starter, isn't he, after the international break? Like, he's got to be. I don't know what else the guy can do. He's coming on, he's changing games, he's doing things when he's coming on. He's warranting a starting place.
I'm liking it though, because Watford fans want more. Quadro wants more. But I think Watford are just managing his minutes at the moment off the back of the injury last year. I don't think they want to give him too much too early on. We got an international break now, so I think they'll try and get him up to speed a little bit more, maybe wrap him up into cotton wool, and we might see more of him. But yeah, I'm the same as you, Joe. I want to see him more. I want to see him start games. I want him to see him impact games quicker. I want to see the link up with him and Irankunda and Kurengard up top, or let's throw Vata into the spot as well, if maybe he's ahead of Kiembe as well. We've got such exciting talent in this team, and I want to see it. And I think that's our best defense, best way of defending, isn't it? By attacking. We've got so much talent going forward, and it's nice to be in a position, Joe, where we've got options to come off the bench to change games. And like last season, we said about squad depth. We didn't have squad depth. Looking at that bench yesterday, we had absolutely loads.
Yeah, like you say, we look at the bench, and when we've still got people, as you say, like we've got Chadvikatsi. We've not mentioned Dumbia as well. Obviously, Dumbia is still, he come on yesterday for a bit, didn't he? But he's not starting games at the moment. Obviously, I know Semedo's probably got a lot to do to get into this side now, based on what we've seen. But there's so many exciting young players in this squad. I do wonder. I mean, I know Elliot's mentioned about Baah not starting in a 3-5-2. I agree, he's not. He's going to have to change the formation. Do you think when Losers fit and we've got Chadvikatsi back and fit, and obviously we've then got Vata, we've got all wingers available, does he change the formation again? Does he go to a different formation to include all these people? Or is he going to stick to his 3-5-2 and upset a lot of people?
I see him reverting back to a 4-2-3-1. I think that's probably the best way of trying to get these exciting talents into his team. I think that's the only way you're going to get Irankunda, Baah, Chapfadasi. You get Loser and probably Kipianu as the 2. And then you'd have the 4 at the back. So that's obviously going to be Bowler, Ngakia, Kebun. And then the other centre backs is up for grabs. Would it be Pollock? I don't think we're going to see too much of Pollock at the moment. I think Abanka is way ahead of him. We're very close to signing a centre back from Lyon over in France. Another guy called Mendy. We've waited ages for a Mendy. Now we've got 2 in a week. He's very highly rated. He started both games for Lyon in Liga. So he's probably going to be coming in to potentially start games. So I see him probably slotting into that back. So I think we've got the players more for a 4-2-3-1 than what we do for a 3-5-2. I don't really see Ngakia being a wing back. I don't really see Bowler being a wing back. I see them more as like a proper old-fashioned fullback. What do you reckon, Joe?
Yeah, I just do you know? I was just even thinking about Thingy as well. We've got is the other winger we've not mentioned. Is it Mama?
Yeah, Ottoman Mama.
Yeah, we've still got him to come into the mix, and he apparently had a very, very good run out against Notts County recently.
Yeah, got 45 minutes and got a goal.
Yeah, he did. He played really well. And I'll tell you, talking about togetherness earlier in the team, there was actually quite a few of the first teamers. I don't know if you saw the photo of all the first teamers that went along to watch him and support him on his kind of first appearance. So that was really
I did
nice to
see
see.
that.
I think, yeah, there was. I know Kayembe was there, Sissoko was there. I think Kaben might have been there. There was about 4 or 5, maybe 6 Watford players there that were watching the game, which you don't usually see. So that was really nice. But sorry to steer away from your question. Who was it you mentioned about as a wing back? I know. Remember the question.
No, I just see we've got the players more to have at 4-2-3-1 than what we actually do for a 3-5-2. I think that Ngaki and Bowler are more fullbacks than wing backs.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think you're spot on. I don't really like them playing as wing backs. I don't think I think Ngaki especially doesn't suit that role at all. Whereas when you see him playing in a flat back four, I think he plays really well. I think Wiley would suit the position more
Yeah.
if we were to do that formation. So I think, dependent on who we potentially may go in for a right back, because obviously we now know that we're going to be in the market for a right back tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting to see if we panic and rush and buy or loan. But if they may get someone that suits that wing back position. So he's then obviously got the option for Bowler and Ngaki as the fullbacks, and then Wiley and someone else potentially if he wants to change the formation.
I think what we've seen in these first 4 games from Paolo Pezzolano is he's very flexible. He's not afraid to mix things up. He's happy to change the system. He's happy to change the style of play, and he switched between a few formations already, and he's not afraid to make early substitutions. I think a couple of substitutions in earlier games he's got wrong, but yesterday I think they were spot on, and they worked quite efficiently, and I think he's learned a lot from the first few games, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think you can see that he's learning as each game's going. I think he's getting used to English football, and I think he's getting used to. I think a lot of it may be down to the pace of the game as well. I think maybe it's probably a lot different to what he's used to. Obviously, the quality of player as well. You've got obviously, as we've mentioned, Cordoba Bar. You've got obviously manage him the right way and his minutes. So he's obviously learning with that. We're all obviously wanting. We're obviously wanting more minutes, but he clearly knows what's best for him. I've just seen that comment from Jess Bishop Jones. We get Dennis back.
I don't think it won't happen. We've been there, done that. I don't think he didn't pull up any trees when he went on loan to Blackburn last year. He actually got sent off in his debut, so I don't think he'll be coming back. But yeah, Emmanuel Dennis did have his contract terminated at Nottingham Forest today. But yeah, I don't think he'll be coming back.
He's probably going to be off to Saudi Arabia. I mean, there was a lot of links to him going there. I think he's probably going to go there for a bit of money, and he won't see England again for a long time. I think professional football wise. But yeah, no. Let's hope not. But yeah, I think he is, and going back to, he is learning a lot, and I think I think the more games are going on, the more I'm trusting him. Like I've got trust in what he's doing and what he believes is right for the team. And as you said yesterday, he made the subs at the right time. Like he got that right yesterday. The right time, the timing was right. The subs were right. He clearly had a game plan. The impact was spot on. Would have been exactly what he wanted. And I think he just needs to. If I'm being completely honest, even though he's playing a 3-5-2, I still don't think he knows what his strongest team is. I still think he's playing a couple of players maybe. Sorry, he's not playing a couple of players when they should maybe. So that will come hopefully within the next round of games. Because how many have we got? I think it's 4 again, haven't we? We've got another 4 games in the next lot of. Oh no, it's 5 actually, because we've got a midweek. Actually, we've got Portsmouth. So I think we've got Blackburn, Millwall, Hull, Portsmouth, Middlesbrough going into the next international break. 3 of which were at home. So, and we're showing we're good at home this so far. I know we lost to Norwich in the League Cup. I don't really, that was kind of a free hit, but we're showing we're decent at home at the moment. So yeah, I'm liking the fact that we've got home games. We can get some points on the board. How are you feeling about Pezzolano at the moment? Are you happy with what he's doing at the moment?
I've got no complaints for him at the moment. It's so early to tell and to judge, but I'm giving him, I don't know, till December time to fully make my mind up on him. I think we've just got to give him a free hit at the moment. We've just got to back him and get behind him. I like what he's trying to do with the team. I think he's trying to get a team that's entertaining for the fans, and we haven't been entertained for absolutely ages. So I really like that. I like that he's flexible. I like that he's not afraid to change things up. I like that he can go to a 4-4-2. Yes, people, I've said a 4-4-2. You know what we used to play in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Then Pep Guardiola came around and he changed football forever. But we've gone back to 4-4-2. How many times have we said we wanted 2 up top? And he's done that. I like that he's done that. So, yeah, I like him. I'd like to hear from him more, but obviously he's new to the country. He's working on his English. So I don't think we'll be hearing too much from him just yet. He's definitely in the lino's ear, and the 4th official was here. He picked up a yellow card yesterday for waving an imaginary yellow card to a referee when one of the Watford players got booked. So he's entertaining from the sidelines. But I think the players like him as well. So I'm going to give him a benefit of doubt, and let's see where we are in December. I think it's just too early to tell just yet. But Joe, yesterday we managed to get it back to 1-1, and then a Banqua conceded a silly foul on the edge of the box. We had a comment on here not so long ago. Here we go. Philip Crouch, a Banqua is error prone, gave away the free kick for the Saints' second goal. Pollock is a winner, and we need him in the team. I think we will continue with a 3-5-2. A Bank was young. He needs to make these mistakes to learn from them. But we have seen from his Watford career so far that some mistakes that he does make are quite costly. Is it just getting behind him, sticking with him, hoping that they fade out a little bit soon?
Yeah, he is prone to a mistake. I mean, he one game that sticks out for me was when he got sent off at Oxford last season, and he was foolish. Yeah. He was foolish there. He commits needless fouls, and it's very frustrating, and especially in a position where we know what Manning's like with free kicks. He was we knew he was in a dangerous position the moment he committed the foul. But yeah, I really hope it's something that he can eradicate as he gets better and he gets more game time. Like you say, he's very young. But I'm not being funny. I can't really pinpoint that as saying it's his fault, because how many needless fouls do some of our players give away sometimes, which lead to things. We, as I always say to people, we're all in it together, aren't we? It's like the team plays a team. Someone gives away a foul, you've got to defend the next part of the play. So it's just one of them things. But yeah, I really hope that, as like I say, he gets better with game time. He's less clumsy in those situations.
Yeah, he's just going to learn over time. That was last season was his first full season of like playing professional football. He had bits and pieces in previous years, but nothing substantial like he did last year. I like him. I like what he brings to the team. Yesterday, he drove for the ball quite a lot in that first half. He was like turning into another midfielder for us, and he was actually getting us up the pitch, and especially when we didn't really have players on the pitch to actually drive with the ball, but Abankwah was trying to make a point and doing quite well with that. He's got rapid pace as well to recover. I like that he's physically strong as well. He's good on the ball. Yes, he can make a mistake, but can't we all? We win and lose as a team, and I think Abankwah's good. I've liked that we've re-signed him, and hopefully we can see some more stellar defending for him. But yeah, disappointing to concede a free kick on the edge of a box. Like you said, when you concede a free kick in those areas, you know what Ryan Manning's going to do, and he did exactly what we all feared and put the ball in the back of the net, and it was 2-1 Southampton. But luckily enough, we've got our own set piece, King Irankunda. 3 minutes after we conceded, we had our own free kick on the edge of a box, a bit further out than what we had for Swansea, I think. I thought it was a bit too far out, Joe, and I thought, a bit too far for him. I don't think he can do it. He shut me up. Fantastic goal. And like I said at the start of the podcast, I wish I was in the Rookery end to see that dip and turn into that tiny bit of the in between the crossbar and the goalpost in that angle position, because that was. I've seen videos and it's fantastic from air angles, but I don't think I've seen it as good as a free kick like that for a very, very long time inside Vicarage Road. I know we haven't scored a free kick at home since Alman Abdi back in the Premier League when he scored against Aston Villa. Was it 2016? I want to say maybe.
April 2016, I believe it was. Yeah, and we were lucky because it was a first half strike, but it was a rare occasion for us to be shooting in front of the Rookery in the first half. So we actually had it in front of us. But we don't it's like London buses. We don't score direct free kicks for a long time, but then we just suddenly start scoring loads. So it's crazy.
It's nice to have a set piece specialist, isn't it? Like you look at other teams. Obviously, Bristol City have got Scott Twine. You know, every time he puts the ball down, 9 out of 10 times that's hitting the back of the net because the way he strikes the ball is always pinpoint accuracy. But we've got our own now, Joe. We can I think Nestory Irankunda at the end of the game joked saying, "Imran, it's mine now," because he fancies himself, and I like that. I like the confidence of him, but. You surely can't take the ball off him after those 2 goals.
No, I think so. I think I was trying to think back actually in my head. So it's obviously been when Abdi scored that one. That was 2016. Obviously, it's 9 years later. In that 9-year period, I'm sure Abdi. Obviously, then after that one was Messina. I can remember Cardiff.
Yeah.
Loser away at Blackpool.
Yeah.
And then so that's 3, and then obviously we've got 2 in a week. So
sorry, there was another goal in between the Alman Abdi goal and Irakunda's goal, but it was scored in front of the Vicarage Road. Then it was Matthias Martin against Southampton in the FA Cup.
Oh yeah.
So the goal scored in front of a Rookery, first goal in front of a Rookery since 2016. Matthias Martin scored 2 seasons ago in front of Vicarage Road end. But yeah, Messina was. During lockdown, wasn't it, Joe? I remember that sitting in my front room, going absolutely mental because that was literally 90-odd minute, wasn't it? Deep into injury time.
Yeah, 94th minute. Yeah, and it was obviously a huge goal in the swing of promotion that season. So, but going back to what you said, it is great to have somebody that can take a free kick and. In the 2 that we've seen one where he's curled a ball up and over the wall and into the top corner. We've seen one that's a bit Ronaldo-esque, where he's kind of hit it with his lace and it's gone up and over the wall and dipped down. Superb, technique and great to see it hit the back of the net. I just think now I genuinely, if Losers playing, I would still love to see Irankunda behind the ball, because every time now we do get a free kick, everybody's going to be expecting him to put it down and hit it, and they will be very disappointed. I can imagine the next free kick at Vicarage Road. To be fair, it won't be. Losers not back the next game, is he? He's back at.
No, yeah. So he's going to miss the Blackburn game still. So Irakunda's definitely still on free kicks still then. But you know what? I think Imran will see what Irakunda's done in the previous games, and he'll be like, you know what? I can't step up to take these.
No, I agree. I think he'll step aside. Aside.
The right thing to do for the team as well. Look, if it's winning us points and rescuing us points, then have it all day long. Be my guest. But yeah, it's great to have him. What did you make of a celebration?
Yeah, brilliant. I saw someone on Twitter post saying that if they've got a photo of the Irankunda and Baah in the air, then he was going to get it tattooed on his his body.
Way.
Yeah, but I'm yet to see if that photo appeared. Obviously, I saw the one of Irankunda, but I don't think, unless it would have been someone in the press, you would have been able to get the frame of the photo, because they jumped so quick. Well, Baah jumped really quick, because Irankunda, I don't know if you saw his interview after, they said about how good the backflips. He didn't know that Baah had done the backflip, did he?
No. I was reading the Watford Observer earlier. Obviously, Adam Jury's taken over from Andrew Brench, and he's done a sterling job so far. He actually asked Pezzolano about the celebration, and he said, "Yeah, I liked it, and with Baah as well. I think we're ready for the Olympics." I love that as well. So yeah, 2 gold medals are on their way to Vicarage Road very shortly. But yeah, it's great to see as well. But also, I'm like, don't injure yourself. But in that moment, they back themselves and they've got away with it. So it's a fantastic goal. Like if you're going to equalise to win yourself a point, then you'd want to do it in that fashion, and you're going to celebrate like that. But yeah, great scenes in Vicarage Road yesterday, and Irankunda overall, Joe. Great start to life at Watford. And he's already showing signs of being a real fan favourite, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he did well when he couldn't really do a lot at Charlton when he came on, but what he did do, he tried and did all right. Nearly won us, obviously, a penalty, didn't he? Which wasn't given. I thought he did really well in the game against Norwich. He was one of the standout players that night. And then obviously QPR, Swansea, both he's progressing how you would want. Like he's looking more confident when he's picking up the ball. I love the way he drives forward. He's not afraid to take somebody on. He's got great skill. Brilliant player to just watch for me. Great tenacity, and he actually comes across. I don't know, if you kind of see, but he comes across really well in his interviews as well. I really like listening to him. He talks really well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he seems quite down to earth, seems humble. He's not one of these arrogant footballers. He seems like he's making lots of friends, and his teammates love him as well. And I think it's really, I think we've done really well to sign him, Joe. I really do. We've signed him for, what was it, about €3 million from Bayern Munich. There's a buyback clause with him because they obviously know how highly rated he is. There's a 50% sell-on fee as well. I think Watford can buy back some of that sell-on fee, but Bayern rated him highly. Didn't really probably want to let him go, but listened to Irankunda for his development, allowing him to move to England and to Watford. I just feel like we've got an absolute steal of a player here, Joe. And I hope we can keep hold of him for much longer, because I think he's already doubled his transfer fee for what he arrived on, and I think that's gonna just rocket much higher. But yeah, just wanted to talk now about, obviously we're going into our first international break now. Do you think Pezzolano's job is safe?
Yeah, I think he's done enough. He's done enough just for now, just to keep his job at least till the next international break. Anyway.
Yeah, I think he'll still be there after the international games. No, I think his job's safe. I think we're recruiting to his system and bringing in players that he actually wants as well. So that's good to see. But yeah, we're just going to give a quick review of the season so far. Obviously, we've had 4 games, lost 1, drawn 2, won 1, unbeaten in the last 3. So yeah, just general reflections, Joe. How are you feeling after the first 4 games? You feeling positive? You feeling negative? Where's your head at?
I'm going to say it's really interesting, actually, you asked, because I think it is an interesting question, actually. I'm going to ask you a quick question. I'm going to answer that question, but would
sure.
you, in the last 2 games, had Loser been in the side, would you have taken points against Swansea and Southampton? Or do you think we would have had a better chance? Or do you think that the result, potentially they're good results with or without Loser?
I think they're both good results without Loser. I think we probably would have maybe bettered our results if Loser was playing. Going back to the Swansea game, I think last season we lose that game. That last 10, 15 minutes where Swansea was knocking on the door, I easily say we end up losing that. So we would have came away with maybe a 2-1 defeat. Showed really good togetherness and character to defend and maybe do the dark acts of play acting and time wasting to try and slow the ball down and game management, which we haven't really seen before by a Watford team. I'll take that all day long if that's going to get us points on the board and not go home with a defeat. Yesterday's game, I think we needed Imran Loser to pass the ball about. I think we needed him to control possession, get us on the ball more, move us forward. I think we needed his creativity. Dictate play, that's the word I was trying to find. We needed him to dictate the play yesterday. I think we lacked that in that area. I think we would have probably done much better with Imran Loser in both the games, really, Joe. So, yeah, I'd say this time last season, we probably would have lost probably both games. I don't think we would have came back against Southampton either. So I think we would have gone into the international break now with just a win against QPR. And then you'd be thinking, 1 win from 4, it's not great. Pressure's on Pezzolano. We're in an international break. What's going to happen? Whereas now I'm like, okay, we didn't lose to Swansea. We played really well that first 60 minutes. Fantastic. Probably best we played for a very long time. Gone away with 1-1. Yes, disappointing after how well we performed after 60 minutes, but we got a point. Yesterday, to come back from behind twice against a team that was relegated from the Premier League last year, I would have taken a point all year round. I think it's really, really good. So yeah, overall, I think we're in a good position.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as you. I think I would have taken a point at Swansea, especially without Imran Loser. I think we did really well, and I think 60, 70 minutes. I don't think we'll play as well as that maybe for a very long time. We were very, very good and very unfortunate not to be further ahead. Just didn't get the luck, did we, that day? And then, like you say, yesterday, to come back twice against a relegated side from the Premier League, you look at those 6 games against the relegated sides, and you kind of think, if you can get anywhere close to double figures, you've done well. And obviously, we've got 1, and we've done it from coming behind. So it's a good start in that respect. So yeah, I'm really happy with the start, and I think things are only going to get better with players that are coming back after the international break as well. So yeah.
Okay, good. So we're on the same page. International, the transfer window is closing tomorrow, Joe. I want to say it's 7:00 Monday evening. It closes.
Potentially,
if anyone knows, help us out.
It could be 8:00.
Okay, so yeah, it ends tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
What areas do you think we need strengthening, or what areas do you think we need strengthening?
Well, it's actually interesting. So there was a comment that came in from Russ Putnam earlier on saying, "Do you think we need another striker more experienced?" I actually do think we do. I would actually, I would take another striker. I would not be going into the next part of the next run of games with just Kerem Garden Semedo. The only reason I would settle for that is if there was a guarantee that if Kurumgard was coming off, with the other players that we've got on the formation that he could potentially revert to, is using Dumbia as the striker rather than playing him out on the left. But if he's going to persist on playing Dumbia out on the left-hand side, then yes, I do believe we would need another striker. Other than that, I would say that we definitely need another midfielder. Oh no, we've got Mendy, haven't we? Sorry, coming in. Right back is a definite now. Obviously, with Andrews going.
Yeah.
And I mean, the centre back for me isn't really necessary. But if obviously they've got someone that they want to sign, he sounds exciting. It's a hefty transfer fee, though, Ben. Have you seen the fee that they've agreed with the obligation to buy if they buy him after the year-long loan?
Who's this for? Sorry,
this is for the other Mendy that's from coming
is
from.
it like 5-6 million euros?
Yeah, €6 million apparently is the obligation to buy fee. So it's quite a hefty fee.
We're going to be loaded when we get promoted, Joe, so it won't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a bit chunk of money, isn't it? What I'm reassured about is I was concerned when we saw we was linked with Jack Robinson of Sheffield United. I really didn't want him to come in. Yes, he's the captain of Sheffield United, but he's also not been very good for the last couple of seasons. Yes, he's got a couple of promotions under his belt in the last few years, but I think his legs are going. He's not been great, so I'm glad that that's not coming to light. So I would welcome Mendy all day long. Interesting though, and Adam Jury of Watford Observer. I don't know if you saw this, Joe. Watford was actually have had talks with Jimmy Dunn at QPR about potentially joining, but Watford have looked to go after Mendy instead. I would have had Jimmy Dunn. I think he's fantastic, great in the air, really great presence, scores a good few goals as well. But it looks like Watford are after Mendy instead. Did you see that link with Jimmy Dunn?
I didn't, and I've got a cousin who's a QPR fan, as you know. I've mentioned a few times. I'm going to wind him up and put something in our little chat in a little while. He's on his way back from holiday at the moment, so give him some funny news to come back to the UK. But do you know what? Aerially, I think Jimmy Dunn is probably
one of the best in the league, isn't he?
I would go as far as saying that. I think he's fantastic in the
up there
air.
with Jake Cooper of Millwall.
He's a really, really good defender. The only reason that I can suspect that Watford have decided to look elsewhere is because of his injury record.
Yeah,
because he's potentially had too many injuries in the last couple of years, more longer term injuries than probably the club would have liked. But yeah, other than if there was a chance to buy Jimmy Dunn, then you take that all day long for me. He's got
maybe his pace as well.
Yeah, I mean he's got everything. He scores goals. He's great in the air. He's got pace. He's a leader, and he's got the experience. You know, we've been crying out for someone like that in our team. It's a bit of a shame that it'd be interesting to see, because obviously I was expecting Mendy to be announced today, but obviously it's not happened. I know he wasn't in the squad over the weekend for Lorient, so he's definitely not played. But it would be interesting to see maybe what happens tomorrow with that.
I'll try and find the article from Adam Jury and I'll read it out now. But I don't know what I was going to say. But yeah, I'm just trying to find it now.
Obviously,
I don't know.
there's a couple of rumoured outgoings, isn't there, with Tom Delabashir and Tom Ince still. I would. I'm going to say, based on what we've seen so far, I'm not going to be sad about those two players leaving too much. Providing we've got covering in those areas, and we've got players that can fill in. But wish them both the very best if they do leave tomorrow, because Tom Ince, I know he's been slated quite a bit, but he's another player that's always given 100% when he's put on the shirt, and he's been a good squad player to have around the club. And he's always so polite as well when you see him around the ground.
No, definitely. So yeah, found the article. Thank you for filling that gap there, Joe. Adam Jury said the Hornets have held talks with a number of other defensive options while attempting to negotiate a deal for their first choice. Watford Observer understands one of those was Sheffield United's defender Jack Robinson, who appealed to the club with his leadership qualities and strong left foot. Robinson was keen on the switch from the Blades, who have just signed Tanganga from Millwall this week, but the club ultimately decided to revert back to Mendy when the deal was struck. Another player with championship experience who was considered is QPR's Jimmy Dunn, the 27-year-old who can play both at centre-back and right-back, held talks with the Hornets, but a move was not pursued. Popov of Dynamo Kiev also had conversations with Watford, while Callum Doyle was a potential loan target from Manchester City before he joined Wrexham permanently. The process is similar to that followed across a number of other positions this summer. A deal was agreed for winger Papa Diallo from Metz, who ended up moving to Norwich City because Nestory Irankunda was ultimately preferred. Basically Watford was saying that they got their first choice. Well, yeah, it looks like they're getting their first choice centre-back in Formos. Mendy. He started both of Lyon's first two matches of a 25-26 Ligue 1 campaign, including a 4-0 victory over Rennes last weekend before they lost 7-1 to Lille without him on Saturday. They could have done with him in the side then by the sounds of it. And Mendy has been capped 10 times by Senegal, which has the last of which came in October 2024, having been part of a 2022 World Cup squad. Interesting that we're getting a bit more further information from Adam Jury at the moment from Watford FC, and they're releasing a bit more information on who they've actually looked at, why they haven't gone through with it. So, I believe he had a medical today at Watford, so it'll probably be announced tomorrow morning. So, yeah, keep your eyes peeled, everyone. But yeah, I think we'll probably wrap it up there, really. We've discussed the 2-2 draw, the breaking news from Ryan Andrews, and also the end of a transfer window. That's it for another episode of A Voice of Vic. Thank you so much for listening and watching along. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you get your audio, make sure you follow the show, leave us a rating or a review. It will really help us reach more Watford fans just like you. We will be back after the international break with more Watford chat. So until then, enjoy the break and come on, you ones. I always have this problem. 2 ticks.